Welcome everyone to an awesome chaos showdown between a rubber duck of war as Khorne going up against Mossy as the forces of Tzeentch. So on Kislev Troll Country today, starting with the Tzeentchian forces, we are going to be in the trees with the double cavalry. Starting here with the heavily armoured boys of the Chaos Knights. So these chunky boys, 120 armour, bronze shield, very strong indeed, tanky and durable, which is what's really good here for land battles, and brilliant melee stats. Not highest on the mobility stats, but still pretty mobile nonetheless. Fear on top of that, going to make them pretty strong with that barrier that can really go quite a long way. So for the front line, mass missiles, 4 units here of the blue horrors, backed up by double pink horrors, and being that you can bring quite a heavy armoured front line here from the Chaos Forces of Khorne, this can really suffer. Now, if you do go mass bloodletters, you can do quite well here with this force. In the back, 3 units of the Forsaken of Tzeentch, and you pay quite a bit here for the spell resistance. They do have magic damage, so good there up against the demons, but otherwise pretty good weapon stats, but they do struggle up against armour. Now they are heavily armoured themselves, but a lot of the Khornite forces do have armour piercing. Over here on the right, we are going to have 2 units of the Screamers of Tzeentch. These bad boys, anti-large and armor piercing. Very scary as well, 85 speed, good magic damage, physical resistance, you name it, they've got it. They're pretty damn good for sure. And very good when they're supporting the Exalted Lord of Change. Now the metal casting here on the back right is going to be having the Final Transmutation, the Plague of Rust, and the Portal Glyph for the double Chaos Fury summon. Now the only thing is the Greater Arcane Conduit is going to be missing. Now the one thing I would say, if you could afford it, it is almost always worth bringing, especially with very expensive spells like the Final Transmutation. It really gives you mana at such a, such an accelerated rate that it's so beneficial to have it here for a great caster such as Tzeentch. So therefore, I would probably look to bring it in the future. So for the Khorne forces, Chaos Warhounds here in the back right, one over here in the back left as well, and for the main force, we are going to have on either side more Fleshhounds, so actually 4 in total. Backed up here by Bloodletters of Khorne, regular Khornite infantry, the Berserkers is here with the dual weapons, and yeah, just mass Khornite infantry. And armor here is going to be very difficult to take down. 100 armor stack here, not too much armor piercing in the Tzeentchian roster, which is where you see Khornite infantry do quite nicely. Frenzy, as well as also the anti-infantry, also we say bonus for infantry here of 7, and pretty good armor piercing stats at 14. They're going to get through most of their infantry pretty quickly. In the Mac, the anti-infantry weapons here, the Blood Shrines of Khorne, very strong indeed. They do have physical resistance, 110 armor as well, anti-infantry armor piercing. They also heal in combat here with the Gore Feast, and then give bonuses to melee attack and leadership from the Totem of the Endless Bloodletting. So 2 units of those on the battlefield, backed up by an Uhtred of Bebbanburg, the single man himself here, the cultist of Khorne, on horseback, an amazing melee combatant with 95 armor here and good mobility. He's also going to be having Frenzy, the Gate of Khorne here for the summon of the Bloodletters, and the Lord Choice here on a Blood Crusher. So the big bad boy is going to be having the Revel in Slaughter, the Hellblade, which is very strong here for the Exalted Bloodletters. It gives them base weapon damage and then armor piercing increases when you get over 80 kills. The Locust of Wrath giving that plus 40 melee attack in a 35 meter radius, very strong here when partnered, or at least sometimes alongside the Horn of Khorne there for the Lord passive. Now one quick thing as we're going to be pushing into the battle, you guys have been seriously enjoying, I feel like, I've been seeing a lot of you watching the land battles that I've been putting forward, so if you do want to see more in the future, please do feel free to go on that Discord and leave some replays. I'm getting pretty low here on the replays that I have in the pool. I can obviously go and do some more games myself, and some of you have been sending them in quite regularly, but if you want to see some more here on the channel, do feel free to keep sending them in, and I will keep casting them. So, just like here, the Khornite force is going to charge directly towards the blue horrors here in the front. 4 units are going to be ready, and these missiles really do lack armor piercing. So if we have a look here at the stats, it's going to be 2 armor piercing per missile for the blue horrors. Now, of course, they do fire and magic damage, so if you do have debuffs for fire or magic, they can be quite prevalent. They do quite nicely here up against the Bloodletters of Khorne. They will circumvent that physical resistance, and they've only got 30 armor, so they can do quite nicely. Over here in the trees, the Chaos Knights are going to be a perfect counter here up against the Blood Shrines. They do have armor piercing, but the mass here of the cavalry will pin it in and prevent it doing all its amazing animation attacks. We do see the Flyers coming over. They're going to be charging down here up against the Blood Shrine, so nice work there. Anti-large armor piercing. I love those screaming abilities when they get in. Plague of Rust also activated here on the Blood Shrine. So looks like we're going to go in for the full chunky damage here. We get some good cycle charge and we get out. So look at that there. Minimal damage on the Screamers as we pull them out. Really using that barrier to the maximum efficiency possible. A couple of screamers here from the second unit are going to get caught, so they are going to take a little bit of unnecessary damage, unfortunately, but still very good cycle charging here. In the middle, we do actually have the dual weapons charging through the trees. We have more Khorne infantry and the double flesh hounds catching up against the Chaos Knights. In the middle here, this looks to be a spell, perhaps a final transmutation. Yeah, it is going to be a final transmutation. Now, one thing to note here, this is very good up against single entities, less so up against infantry and mass model sizes. So you will be getting some okay damage there on the right hand side, but I'd almost say every time it's worth overcasting final transmutation. Now here, especially on land battles, just because of the cost efficiency. If you increase that cost efficiency, you certainly get more damage for your buck. Now over here, we're still going to be pressuring. I really like this here from Mossy, charging in with the screamers. Look at those melee attacks. Oh, I love it. The animations are gorgeous. And Uhtred charges in with a headbutt here from the horse, and he's going to be going deep. And look at that animation just cycling through here on the motorbike. The Blood Shrine of Khorne is going to be doing the business. Now, we've lost the barrier, so we probably want to pull out here. And if we re-get that barrier with the most amount of hit points possible, the barrier will also stay nice and in tip-top shape. The more damage you take here to your health, the more, or should we say, the less barrier you get back in return. So flying around here, looks like the Arcane Surge. I don't know if that's been fixed yet, but hopefully it has. That we'll be getting more mana and more mana reserves here for the Exalted Lord of Metal. Charging forward here, the dual weapons are going to move in, as well as the Chaos Knights. They're going to be retreating here away from the Flesh Hounds. Flesh Hounds will do quite nicely. 65 weapon strength, 22 of that being armor piercing. So when you put that into perspective, it's only 14 armor piercing here from the dual weapons. They also have 57 weapon strength, so you could just show how strong Flesh Hounds are. They are also large targets, so they have pretty good damn mass themselves. Over here on the right hand side, we are going to see Screamers fighting up against the Bloodletters of Khorne. Also going to be having an Exalted Lord getting in, and this is some very good micromanagement. We're going to be moving in on the left hand side, doing some good damage here up against the infantry units that are going to be caught on the side. Ducky is going to be summoning a unit straight from Khorne itself. We do have some Bloodletters charging through here, hopefully going to be compromising the Tzeentchian forces. It looks... Oh no, it's actually going to be a unit of the Chaos Furies. I do apologise. A unit of the Chaos Furies, the Portal Glyph was used. So now that maybe can charge down, but it's not going to do too well here up against the dual weapons. But do very well up against Bloodletters and any other light armoured infantry. But otherwise, it could suffer. You could maybe get them on the Flesh Hounds. The Locus of Wrath has been activated. Plus 40 melee attack, giving 86, making them very strong indeed. So we can see mass missile fire here at the front. And it's really done no damage here. Only chip damage up against the dual weapons. In the front, we do get a summon here. We are going to be having the Bloodletters of Khorne. They're going to be fighting in the front. You can see like the little blue swirls around them. That's going to, signify that they are the summon. They're going to be fighting up against Forsaken. They're anti-infantry and armor piercing. Forsaken quite heavily pay here for their armor stats. So therefore, being that they are infantry, they're going to get deleted quite quickly here. Fire going in here up against the Blood Shrine, but 110 armor is going to be very difficult to shut down. And Blue Horrors could do quite nicely here shooting up against the Flesh Hounds. Just like that, they are going to move into melee combat. They do have magic damage as well, so they will circumvent the physical resistance. Cycle charging here from the Chaos Knights. Nice work here on the left-hand side. The Lord Joy's looking pretty healthy. This man's pretty good in combat. He is an anti-infantry tool, but still has brilliant armor piercing, and he can really take down models at a time here up against the Chaos Knights. And he looks absolutely terrifying. Look at this man in combat with that Hellblade. Absolutely fantastic. Over here on the left-hand side, we do have one of the Blood Shrines. Going to be cycling through here, the Forsaken and the Pink Horrors. They just don't really have enough mass here to pin in the big entity, but he is going to be taking a lot of damage. Forsaken do have 63 weapon strength when you do actually have that Frenzy buffed. Over here in the middle, we are going to get some dual weapons fighting up against the Forsaken. Of course, these bad boys are super strong, and what makes the matchup against Nurgle very, very tough here up against Khorne, they just delete Forsaken, and Forsaken is one of the tankiest units that Nurgle have to offer, and it's going to be the same, pretty much the same story here for Tzeentch. They're going to be just chewing through units, deleting quite nicely here, and then the Exalted Lord does come in. Oh, love that! Really smashing through with that animation, and just splitting up the dual weapon forces. Over in the front, the Blue Horrors are going to be falling in mass droves here up against the heavy armoured Cornflakes, but they're also going to be charging in the back here as well up against the Blue Horrors. The bad boys are going to be in shields ready to go, and silver shields as well, considering only 2 AP for the Blue Horrors. They're going to negate so much of that missile damage. In the back, the Bloodletters do still survive, not for long I imagine. 8 leadership for them, 620 health, and they're just going to be butchering here, getting those ginormous great weapons through the flanks, the sides, and the front here of these Blue Horrors. They're going to be chewing them down to size, but there we go! The Bloodletters have been chased off by the Blue Horrors, so there we go, GG's well played. played. You can see the blue horrors are definitely going to be better, for sure. But in the middle, we are going to be having the dual weapons. They're getting pretty low, down to 2.5k. Cultures of the Khorne is going to be going quite strongly, and the second Blood Shrine as well is going to be pretty healthy indeed. So macro look on the battlefield here, we see balance bar pretty even. That's going to be mostly due to the Lord being quite healthy. We do see here down to 2,800 from the Herald of Khorne. Good cycle charging here from the Exalted Lord could be quite nice. Getting that cycling through there on the Blood Shrine is certainly going to be beneficial. If you continue to do that, get that good chip damage, and don't take anything in return, you can really shift that balance of power. So good cycle charge through, nice little hit there on the Herald of Khorne. He's also going to be using a final transmutation on top of the Blood Shrine. Now that's going to do a lot of damage. That's going to catch 1, 2, 3 single entities, make that 4 single entities. They do get out there, but that's going to do a lot of damage here on the big boy. Over in the back, we break some Forsaken. They're going to be getting chewed through quite quickly. Blue Horrors and Chaos Knights fighting together here up against the Khornite Infantry. You can see the bad boys in the middle. They're going to be going pretty strong. They'll be at 6,200 HP, and they've got to 23 kills already. It looks like in the middle, we are going to get the second ability, no, the third ability here coming from Tzeentch, which is going to be this nice pink and fire hailstorm coming from the sky. This bombardment spell is super powerful. I think it just negates all armor. I'm not actually too sure on the stats, but you can see it is just deleting these Chaos of Khorne. That's fantastic work there in the middle. In the back, the Blue Horrors still have some ammunition left to go, but they're going to get compromised here by the Chaos Forces of Khorne. The infantry are charging forward. The dual weapons do come forward to challenge. It's like they're going to be fighting perhaps here up against the Chaos Knights. Pink Horrors are going to dive away. We are going to be using the Chaos Knights to pin in the Lord Choice, but they're going to be pretty low here. They're going to be down to 907, and they could break here pretty quickly if you're not careful. So the second and final unit of the Chaos Fury Summon is going to be recharging here up against the Khornite Infantry. They do actually have the Horn of Khorne, given that plus 24 melee attack, giving them up to 68, which is pretty good there, considering they have good melee defense stats as well. So they're going to be fighting up against Forsaken of Tzeentch. 2 units here in the middle, backed up by Blue Horrors. It looks like, unfortunately, the Chaos Knights do break. I absolutely love their design. Look at that shield. Fantastic stuff indeed. But unfortunately here, we do see the majority of the units are going to be breaking. And we don't need too much armor piercing here to fight up against Furies. They're just going to take all of that brunt coming forward here. 36 weapon strength is going to be thumping very hard into all of the Chaos Fury units. So balance of power pulling into the Khornite favour. We do see here dual weapons finishing off the last unit of Forsaken on the battlefield. The second unit has been broken. Blue Horrors are diving away. We do need to get that maximal utilisation from that ammunition. But in the middle now, we are going to be having the very good hero here. The Cultists of Khorne, a very good melee combatant. He's going to be fighting up against the Lord Choice. And the Lord Choice will suffer 50 on 50 up against 68 melee attack with 460 weapon strength. This bad boy will do very well indeed. Screamer's still alive, so some very good micro here coming out of Mossy, still cycling through with these Screamers. Yeah, they're going to be doing quite nicely, getting in, doing the damage, and then trying to get out and minimalising the amount of damage they do take permanently. We do see a good chase here on the Blood Shrine. That bad boy is going to be a good distraction. We do charge in here with the Lord Choice, and then we get a rear charge here with the Exalted Lord. So the Herald is going to try and push through where he can, but it looks like they're both going to gang up on the Exalted Lord, and this is where it could get a little bit dicey. We don't really have enough Screamers to back up, we don't have enough infantry, and if we get surrounded, which it looks like it is going to be the case, maybe the Exalted Chicken might be able to make it out. He is going to make it out. He is going to be fighting here up against the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Very nice terror there. Now, of course, they do have immune to psychology when Frenzy is activated. When that does get removed, they can get terrified here by the Big Chicken. Big Chicken's going to be fighting in the middle. We still have Frenzy here from the dual weapons. Going to be fighting alongside the Herald of Khorne. He's going to be giving leadership buffs as well. But in the back here, the Blue Horrors, yeah, they're going to be falling in droves. They're going to be down to 70, 69, 67. Yeah, they're falling in mass numbers. 2,200 HP for him. And the Screamers, I believe, have been dealt with. So there's nothing else here on the battlefield. It's just going to be this group left here. We are going to be having the Exalted Lord versus the world. And I think, unfortunately, here, Uhtred is going to be doing the good stuff. Plus, with that Horn of Khorne 92 melee attack, will just dumpster the Exalted Lord. So you can see here the Blue Horrors have been removed, and very smartly Ducky is going to be keeping his Herald of Khorne alive. If we lose him, we're going to be using those leadership buffs. When he's close as well and in combat, he's going to be giving Revel and Slaughter, which gives buffs to leadership, melee attack, and all these gorgeous abilities that makes Khorne very, very strong indeed. Now, the Exalted Lord is going to be down to 5,600 HP. Now, he can't cycle charge, as it's going to be the last entity left here on the battlefield. So it's pretty much going to come down to a bit of RNGesus here. He has very good splash attacks, and he could terrify the infantry here. They're very, very low. They have lost frenzy, so they're going to be, you know, maybe 1 or 2 away here. Oh, that's going to be a lovely final transmutation. Brilliant work there. Everything was going to be surrounding the Lord Choice, and a final transmutation is going to come forward and delete a lot of the infantry. So very nice stuff indeed. So the Exalted Chicken has broken a lot of units here in the middle. Very nice stuff. And then as you can see here, we are going to be shattered with the Blood Shrine. That is going to fall, and it's going to be very close here towards the end. The shield is going to be coming back. Lovely charge. Taking out the shield there is the Herald of Khorne, using the Locust of Wrath, giving that plus 40 melee attack in a 35-meter radius. And we're going to be at a 12-minute battle here. Very, very strong from both players. The Chicken is going to be fighting very hard here in the middle. It looks like we are going to use the second faction ability to try and see if we can delete the dual weapons in the middle. They'll also armor under them as well. That's going to be some nice work with lovely damage on top of the infantry. And if we can actually kill the Herald of Khorne, we could win it here as Mossy. Ducky is going to be charging forward, using that Revelant Slaughter to give that plus melee attack and leadership here to the Khornite dual weapons. The Horn of Khorne has been used, and he can very smartly here just pull out with the Herald. They're going to be fighting up against the Grand Chicken. Balance of power heavily shifting into the Khornite favor. We are going to be wavering here with the Exalted Chicken. He's going to be shattered. GG's and well played here to both of these legends. What an awesome battle. That final transmutation was very, very good there. It really held it in and made this game super close. And I believe this was a training game between Ducky and Mossy. And what I must say, Mossy, that was a fantastic performance. Yeah, very, very well played indeed. I would say, yeah, you played that very, very, you know, at a very high level for sure. 2,500 for the Exalted Lord, as well as 1,660 there for the Chaos Knights of Tzeentch. 675, 600, and 1,300 for the Forsaken, with 250 and 420. So we did get 511 and 900 for the Screamers. With the Blue Horrors, 280, 650, and 450. Yeah, so the Pink Horror is doing okay. You know, obviously these costing, I think it's about 700 each. So, yeah, one coming in at about a third, the other one coming in at just over half. These 650s is going to get above its value, about its value, just above its value, and just below. I think Blue Horrors, even though they have a lot of armor here on the Khornite forces, I think Pink Horror is a little bit too much of an investment. I think you can maybe get some Flamers, but you need to be able to protect them, so it can be quite difficult. But Flamers can be quite nice here up against the Khornite infantry. So well played to Ducky. He got 1,600, 1,076 there for the Cultist of Khorne, 600 and 900 there for the Blood Shrines, with 1,028 and 1,800 for the Chaos Dual Weapons. Dual Weapons, very, very strong, good bonus versus infantry, amazing melee stats there, 57 of the weapon strength there, including the bonus of infantry. Good armor-piercing stats as well at 14. Yeah, they just chew through the Forsaken of Tzeentch. They're very, very good for sure. 182, 209 there for the Bloodletters, getting pretty shut down, pretty efficiently by the Blue Horrors, with 750, 800, and 450 for the Khornite infantry. 620, 480, 200, and 200 for the Warhounds, and a very good performance indeed. So GG's well played to both of these guys. If you enjoyed this, please smash that like button. Feel free to leave a comment and subscribe. All of those three things do help very much on the channel. Feel free to check out that description as well, where you'll be able to find my other social media platforms, including that Discord, where you can leave replays just like this one, so I can cast it in the future on the channel. And then also that Twitch, which I am going to be streaming tonight with a couple of other fellow casters. We'll be doing some fun games for sure. So I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all very, very soon.